One Piece chapter 1098. It is titled Bonney's Birth. We are continuing with the Kuma flashback. This is the chapter I believe we start seeing a little bit of why they consider and call Kuma the tyrant. As implied by the title, this is the chapter that Bonney is born. We see Kuma starting to learn how to become and be a proper father. I'd say this is a really sad and really dark chapter. It might be one of the darkest ones that we've seen in One Piece when you really think about it. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Without it, my name is Potential Unleashed. And let's get into chapter 1098's breakdown. The Revolutionary Army, they are starting to make headway. We know in the last chapter they've gotten more people involved. So now they are starting to try and liberate more countries. And there are so many countries, so many different locations that are requesting aid. Kuma, he goes into a random country in order to provide backup. This is where Ivankov claims that Kuma has been pushing himself too hard. More likely than not, I'd say the reason why Kuma is running himself ragged like this is for it to be a way for him to relieve some stress, and this is because of the fact that Ginny was kidnapped. He needs some way in order to take the anger that he has still within him and find a way to, I guess, express himself, because he definitely feels, even though it wasn't anywhere near his fault, some blame for why she was captured. This is also where we find out who was the individual that kidnapped Ginny and what exactly happened. Apparently, she caught the eye of a celestial dragon and he took her back to Mary Joa in order to make her his bride. 2 years they have passed since Ginny had been kidnapped. She actually managed to escape and made contact with the Revolutionaries. Apparently, she got sick and the celestial dragons, they did not want her anymore. So this is how she was able to escape. Everyone's happy, everyone's ecstatic that she has escaped, and they want her to make her way back to them, but they fail to realize that this is her saying her goodbye. Kuma, he goes to the Sorbet kingdom in the midst of her saying her goodbyes to dragons, saying goodbyes to Ivankov. She even says that she loves Kuma, and he knows this, but he doesn't get to hear it because he teleported in the middle of her farewell, and he makes it to the Sorbet kingdom, and we see Ginny's death. She had died with jewels all on her body. Whenever she was exposed to the sun, her skin turned blue and it was hard as stone. We do get the name of this disease later in the chapter, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this video. And like I mentioned, Ginny dies. It was to be expected because for some reason you could look at every single flashback. I don't know what Oda has with moms, but he ends up killing them off. It's such a sad story, especially for Ginny and Kuma's relationship and everything that she had went through, her being a slave, finally being free just to be a slave again. And in doing all of this, seeing her courage, Kuma, he vows to raise Jewelry Bonney. This is the part where I'd say that One Piece got really dark. For one, this meant that Ginny, she got, I'm not going to say the word, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. She had unconsensual intercourse with a celestial dragon, and she was forced to conceive a daughter against her will, which typically whenever this happens, it's a really touchy subject, because on one hand, the mother, they could feel some type of way towards the child because they know of the trauma that happened with the man that did that to her. And so they kind of treat them unfairly, which you can kind of understand why. But at the same time, there's another way where the mother wants to raise a child because that person is innocent. And this is obviously what Ginny chose to do. This also means that Bonney, she does not have Buccaneer blood like we originally thought. This means that she is the daughter of a celestial dragon. I wonder if we'll ever see who exactly her father is. This means that she's a half-breed, which I kind of find interesting because I wouldn't have expected a celestial dragon to try and have a relationship when it comes to somebody of the lower realm or somebody that isn't a celestial dragon, but they did. And so in doing so, they have a daughter that has celestial dragon blood within them. and yet they don't want them. I find that really interesting. And this isn't the first time that we've seen a celestial dragon try and wed somebody of the lower realm. It happened whenever we saw Charles's introduction, which I also find funny because this is also where we saw Jewelry Bonney potentially her real age. One more takeaway I got from this dark and touchy subject, it deals with Kuma. Imagine the girl that you love, that she was violated by someone else, and I know it's not Ginny's fault and I'm not blaming her whatsoever. I truly feel bad for everything that she went through. If you guys have read Berserk, and I haven't read it all, but it reminds me a lot of what happened between Casca and Griffith, and Guts was there, had to experience everything. And if you want to take it from One Piece, what was implied between Doflamingo and Viola. As Bonney, she ages a little bit. Kuma, he is trying to balance the father life and being a Revolutionary Army member, and I kind of resonate with this a little bit, seeing Kuma experience the new things when it comes to being a father. And the reason why I resonate with this, because I recently became an uncle, and so seeing like people walk and, you know, experiencing their first words and holding them for the first time, it's such a touching thing. But then all of a sudden we see that Kuma, he starts freaking out, and everybody's like, well, Kuma, what the fluff is going on? And this is because Bonney, she has a blue stone that started to form on her face, which is implying that she has the same disease that happened to Ginny. They call doctors and they don't know what's going on. They even mention that it's not white lead poisoning and white lead disease. And if you guys don't remember what that is what wiped out Lost Country. So because of this, Kuma, he decides it would be best to quit the Revolutionary Army, and Dragon agrees, and he's like, hey, with all the connections that we have, we're going to try our best to see if there's a doctor that can predict and able to diagnose what disease that she has. Bonney, she is at the age 5. She's what you would call a bubble girl because she can't go outside, she can't interact with other children, and Kuma is very protective of her, which I understand why, but at the same time it sucks because this is the age where children, they start interacting with other kids and start forming friendships, and that's something she can't experience. It's also interesting to mention that the stone that is on her face, it is in the exact spot where you look at her character design now. She has kind of like a ring around the same spot that the stone originally was. Maybe she did it because she feels more comfortable having a gem on her face because she experienced that in her past. We do not know. Well, since she can't go outside, she has nothing to do but read books. She reads about the Sky Island, talks about Fishman Island. At age 20, she's going to try and go to the Sky Island. Age 19 at Fishman Island. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is because this may be why Bonney, she tries and maintains an adult age. We know that, I believe in the SBS, it was explained that Bonney, her age was only an estimation, so maybe because of her conversation with Kuma is why she always has the appearance of an adult. The name of the illness that she has is called sapphire scales. All natural light is the cause for the stones to spread, and even if you block out the light entirely, the disease is still spreads, just slower. It's an incurable disease, and she is not expected to make it past her 10th birthday. This is probably where her devil fruit comes into play, maybe because Bonney ate the Toshi Toshi no Mi, it caused her to live longer. We've seen devil fruits cure people and bring them back to life. For example, there's Luffy's awakening, it allowed him to come back to life. Big Mom, she saved Kaido's life and he's indebted to her, and this could be because in God Valley, he got severely wounded, severely injured, on the brink of death, and eating the fish fruit allowed him to still be alive. There's also laws open no Mi, and this one has a little bit of an asterisk because Corazon said that eating the fruit and having prior medical knowledge is how Law will be able to save his own life. But nevertheless, this does speculate why Bonney ate her devil fruit and could potentially be the reason why she is still alive. Something that really broke me is that Bonney, she overheard Kuma and the doctor having this conversation. The only thing that she heard was 10 years and she didn't understand, where Kuma lied to her saying that, hey, once you hit 10, you would be free from this disease. And I kind of understand why he did it. To have a child who's never experienced anything and just wants to live a normal life, she doesn't want to hear that, oh, she's going to die in 5 years. I don't think anybody could tell their daughter that, and it's just so tough. So I understand why Kuma lied to her, even though he probably should have told her the truth. And the chapter ends with King Bekori. He is back. He is still trying to have his stupid law and do what he's doing, trying to get rid of the old and the sick and whoever he views as unnecessary to make his ideal kingdom. Overall, this was a really solid chapter. It was more story driven and emotional than action packed, but that's still a good One Piece chapter. More likely than not, in the next one, it will probably include maybe potentially meeting Vegapunk and probably Kuma destroying King Bekori. And I might do a chapter prediction video on Wednesday since there's a break next week and I won't be able to review a chapter since, well, it won't exist. But let me know how you guys feel about chapter 1098 in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.